Hey guys, Danny Shade with the Danny Shade Show. I'm down here in Oklahoma City, Norman area at the ACCO event, and I have Chip Keating, who is running for governor of Oklahoma. And he just got done giving a good talk here in a debate, and I just grabbed him in the hallway and I said, hey man, you mind if we talk to the Danny Shade Show people? And the big question I have for you is, why in the hell do you want to do this?
It's a great question. Danny, thanks for having me on, pal. Our state's broken, and you just heard me talk. I'm running against a bunch of office hoppers that are career politicians that are talking about how they're going to go fix these problems. And I've been listening to this as someone who loves our state for the last 20 years, and I'm so sick of the empty-suited rhetoric of political promises from our politicians. We are all politicians in Oklahoma. Let's go fix the state and get this place heading in the right direction. And the reality is, for me, I want to go do this job and I want to go back to the private sector. And I think we've lost sight of that in our country, and not just our state, that people do this and then it's like they get intoxicated with the power or whatever it might be, and then they just start jumping one office to another, and it becomes about them versus about service. And so my first job right out of college was a state trooper. That's service. Political service should be selfless service. Go fix the problem, go back to the private sector. That's how our country was intended to be.
So I got a couple questions I do want to ask you that I want to make sure I touch on. And it's the big stuff that a lot of people are all concerned about. I mean, I have a family, wife, children. We have a budget. We have everything that's going on. As far as kids go, what's your plan for the schools, man? I mean, we're dead last.
Dead last. So, Danny, this is the reason, the empty-suited rhetoric. And I think you might have heard my closing. And when you're on the timer, there's not enough time to explain, but this is very simple for your viewers. In 2012, Oklahoma passed the Reading Proficiency Act. Our legislature did. In 2013, Mississippi took what Oklahoma had passed and implemented it in Mississippi, which focuses on literacy, K through 3, benchmarks. If you can't read after third grade, you don't go to fourth grade. In 2014, we repealed it. Oklahoma repealed it. And so I don't know if your viewers
Why
here,
would you repeal something?
Because they didn't have the courage. They bent to the liberal teachers unions. Teachers unions want social promotion. They don't want accountability. They don't want outcomes. And it's very simple. We're number one per capita incarcerated in the U.S., and we're 50th in literacy. Those two metrics run together. We're 48th in healthcare outcomes. And you heard some of the folks talk about we need to improve healthcare outcomes. We put more money in public education ever. In the history of our state, in 2018, we were 45th, we're 50th now. So when I hear people say we need more money, we did more money 8 years ago, and we've gone backwards 5 slots.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Why would we give you more money if you mismanage the money that was already given?
100%. And so I'm in the private sector. Whether it be my household or my business, we live in a budget, and we have to make priorities. The way we fund public education, we just hand blank checks to the school districts. We don't tie it to any outcomes. Shouldn't we tell our educational system how to spend the dollars? We need more dollars in the classroom. We need to emphasize and mandate literacy K through 3.
And hold them accountable.
Hold them accountable. We haven't done it. And we literally repealed it. So your viewers, as I tell people, I'm the only person running that's not a career politician. And so empty promises, those empty suits, office hopping. Look at House Bill 2625 in 2014. 2 gentlemen I'm running against were both in the legislature, and they voted to repeal it. And now they're up there talking about literacy. They're disqualified to talk about that. We had our shot. It should have been called the Oklahoma Miracle. And it's not a miracle what Mississippi did. Miracles are unexplainable. It's common sense. And they literally did what they knew worked. Texas had an incarceration crisis in 1990. These were just facts. They were having to build more prisons. So they hired a big consulting company to come in, I'm sure charged millions of dollars to say, why do we have to build more prisons? After they did all their work, they came back and said, you're socially promoting third graders or fourth graders that aren't ready. If you don't stop doing that, you might as well build a prison cell for them when they're 18. So either invest on the front end or you're going to pay for it on the back end. We're paying for it on the back end. We're number one per capita incarcerated. This is crazy. So common sense. We need a common sense leader, a selfless leader who will go fix these problems, who's not thinking about their next election, but but thinking about how we fix Oklahoma.
Absolutely, because a lot of the politicians are very ineffective because they spend the last half of their term running for re-election.
100%. And so what we need in the governor, and I use this analogy, I've worn body armor for a living as a state trooper. These aren't real bullets. We need a governor that will put their body armor on and protect the legislature, give them the cover on a vision, on a mandate, and have their back. That's why I say you get more done when you don't care who gets the credit. Let the legislature win, but the governor should set the vision, the mandate for the state. He or she is elected by all 4 million Oklahomans, and give 149 members of the legislature the cover they need. They want a vision. They want the governor to set a vision, but you've got to treat the legislature in such a way, respectfully, to help protect them to go do what's right and have the courage to go execute on it.
So I got another question for you. Alternative energies, solar farms, windmills.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that they're tired of Oklahoma being used as a dumping ground for all the alternative deals, but then you have other people that say that they love the idea. I'm just kind of curious what you think about it.
Well, first and foremost, so I'm in the oil and gas business, and so that industry is not subsidized. And what we cannot do, but I'm also a free enterprise person. I'm for landowners' individual property rights.
Absolutely.
We've got to be very careful there. I have a property in Logan County. Now, I personally like fossil fuels. I could drive a diesel truck. We're a fossil fuel state. We're blessed to have fossil fuels everywhere. I think we should be really.
I don't think people understand how underutilized we have been with our fossil fuels.
Do you know how bureaucratic though our state is? 380 agencies, boards, and commissions.
Well, somebody said that we lost Chesapeake and Devon.
That we did it, self-inflicted. That Petroleum Alliance sent a letter to the legislature. There was a quote from an energy executive in that letter that said, the Houston skyline has been built over the years on the backs of bad policy decisions coming out of Oklahoma and Louisiana. So it's time for us to wake up. To your point, natural gas is the energy of the future. It's clean, it's abundant, it's affordable. And we happen to have it everywhere in our state. Why aren't we really hitting the gas on natural gas? Why aren't we staking our flag as the oil and gas headquarters of the United States like we once were? We've turned our back to the industry. And so what I would say is if wind, solar, and they want to be here and they can, appropriate setbacks, because a lot of landowners don't want to look at a wind turbine, right? But if you have a huge ranch and appropriate setbacks and a landowner wants to do a wind turbine, as long as we're not subsidizing anything, the state and taxpayers, who is it the government's responsibility to say you can't do that on your land?
Would they do a windmill without subsidies? I don't think it would pay for itself.
Doesn't work. That's the point. So luckily we learned and rolled all the subsidies off. The federal subsidies are also rolling off in July of 26 this year. And so can wind work in Oklahoma without subsidies? The answer is no, not today. And so I don't think you're going to see a ton more windmills being proposed here, but we made mistakes with it in the past. But as a free enterprise candidate, we are a free society. So if I don't want to say no to business, if they can do it and make it work long term, I don't think the technology is there today from a cost basis, so be it. But we've subsidized it. It hadn't worked. It's been a failure, and people are upset about it.
So I've literally kidnapped this man out of his last debate, and we're sitting in the hallway here at the embassy.
It's awesome.
And
Danny's the man.
I love it, dude. And thanks for taking the time. I know you got a young staff and your wife's with you and everybody's trying to, but I said, hey, is he having a hard time keeping up? And I guess the real deal is they're having a hard time keeping up with you.
I got a great team, but I also got a lot of energy. I mean, I learned from a guy, I cut my teeth in the business world, formerly Chesapeake Energy. Pains me to see them go to Houston.
Absolutely.
Aubrey McClendon, one of the co-founders, Tom Ward, Aubrey McClendon. Aubrey McClendon had one speed. It was 100 miles an hour. The guy slept 3 hours a night. My wife, who's here with me as well, also worked for Chesapeake. He was on 24/7, 7 days a week. And that's the work ethic that I learned. And so Oklahoma needs that kind of energy because we got a lot of problems that need a lot of solutions. And they need a governor that, frankly, is hard to keep up with because our state has so much potential. That's why I'm doing this. And I want to do this, do nothing more than this, and I want to go back to the private sector. And I wish I could sign a blood oath with people and say that's exactly what I'm going to do.
It's like I tell my kids, time's going to tell.
But
you get the opportunity, which I hope you do.
But we're in this to win it. But
Exactly.
I'm saying I'm going to go transform Oklahoma.
Yeah.
We're at a crossroads right now. And if we don't get it right, I really am afraid we're going to get left in the dust. We can fix this stuff. We're blessed to have energy. We're just lacking the public policy piece. As we see other net red states that are really winning on the population shifts that are occurring real time, and rightfully so. People are fleeing overly burdened taxation states. They're fleeing nonsense liberal bad public policy states like defunding the police and all this woke agenda that you see around the country. That's not where Americans are, and they're leaving those states in droves. So who's winning? We're not. Okay. Texas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Florida, Nevada, South Dakota, Arkansas now. And so what are they doing? They figured out what good public policy is. And so what I would tell your viewers, common sense, no science experiments. We know what works in good public policy states. Let's do that here. And let's hit the gas.
And it's not that we don't have the opportunities. We're literally driving the opportunities out of our state.
We have been. It's just crazy. And that's what we have to break that cycle. And Danny, I do think politicians get intoxicated on whatever they do. And then they sit there and talk is cheap. And I think for me personally, that's why I am so glad we have President Trump in there, because it's refreshing. Whether you like President Trump or not, I happen to really like him because promises made, promises kept. He's doing exactly what he was, elected to do. Checking boxes. He hasn't deviated one bit. It's time for that kind of leadership in the state of Oklahoma. Deliver on the promises that you're telling the citizens and go back to the private sector. That's who I will be.
Well, so there you have it. You've heard straight from him. And the fact that I just grabbed him and we're doing this real quick in the hallway for you guys just shows that he does care about rural Oklahoma, because that's the target of my audience, is people that live in rural Oklahoma for the most part. Yep. And this is kind of the part of the deal where I just it's the kind of cut the crap segment, man. I don't really ask you a bunch of any questions or anything like that. Just tell my viewers why they should elect you to be the next governor of Oklahoma.
Well, I'm grateful to be here, number one, but I'm a former state trooper. So I've been tested, I've served, I put my life on the line. I've been a successful businessman. I'm so fortunate, blessed by God, married to my best friend and my wife, Brittany, 3 beautiful kids. It's time. Oklahoma's at a crossroads. And I have a very simple thing that I tell any people that are talking to me. Number one, we're 50th in education. We haven't modernized our tax code in 100 years. We have an illicit drug crisis beyond magnitude in our state. Mental health crisis, homelessness crisis. And by the way, it's everywhere in the state. And the folks I'm running against, if they were going to fix the problems, why haven't they done it already? Because they've been in a position to do something about it, and now they're talking about it because people are fed up. I am going to fix these problems, and we are going to win this. We have a ton of momentum, but I need your help. And if you like what you hear, reach out to us, Keating2026.com. Look us up. Danny's a man, and I'm grateful to be here.
There you go, guys. Well, on behalf of the Danny Shade Show, we appreciate you taking the time and carving it out. And if you guys like the content, always subscribe and follow the page.
And reach out to Danny. He's got my contact info.
Absolutely.
I am wide open. If you're going to do this, you need to be accessible to everybody. Yeah. And I've made that clear. I've given my phone number out to the whole state. Now, it might take me 24 or 48.
Him all the time.
And it might take me a little bit to get back to you, but I will get back to you. So if you like what you hear, reach out to me.
We appreciate it. And I'll let you get on to your next meeting, and I look forward to talking to you again.
Thanks, Danny. Appreciate you all. Thank you.